Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Just Keys, back with a brand new video. And today's video, I'm gonna be diving down into one of my favorite movies that I used to watch as a kid. It is the Toei animated feature film Aesop's Fables that was released in 1983. And with that all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. Alright, so growing up, I'm pretty sure all of you had that one movie that you enjoyed watching as a kid. You maybe it was a movie you put on um at night and you fell asleep to. Maybe it was a movie your parents put on for you. They were busy and they put something on for you to preoccupy you because it was your favorite movie. And a lot of these movies from our childhoods, they are very hard to find on out on DVD or anything like that today, and some of them are not even on any streaming services. That brings me to my favorite movie that I enjoyed watching as a kid numerous times. Um, and we didn't even have an actual VHS copy. I don't know how we got this movie or anything, but it seemed to be like a recording on ours. And there was this movie called Aesop's Fables, which you can see the poster right over here, right there. Um, it was a movie I used to watch all the time, and I remember years ago, about the time when I really started using the internet. I was still kind of like a kid, going into my teenage years. I had looked this movie up, and I could not find anything about it online. It wasn't until like a, a couple more years later, I finally started to find stuff about it online. But the crazy thing is, there's not like a whole lot of information on this movie online. We know the production company that made it is Toei Animation, Toy Animation. I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of like butchering that. My apologies. Pronunciations are not my strong suit. Um, and then it was released. They had a dub version released. The movie was released in 1983. Um, a dub released somewhere around the same time. Shown on TV. It was like a TV movie thing. Um, and like I said, this is one of my favorite movies, and I've always been surprised. I've never heard people mention it. Um, doesn't seem to have any like available DVD releases. I did find a DVD on eBay, but that's like the only thing I could find. So, what is this movie about? Well, that's what I'm gonna get into. So, as you probably already guessed, the Toei animated film Ace of Fables is obviously based on the fables that have been attributed to the Greek philosopher Aesop. I believe he was a Greek philosopher. Um, Maybe I'm wrong in that. I need to look that up again. But basically stories like The Tortoise and the Hare, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. This film is like an what's the word? Amalgamation, amalgamation, amalgamation of like all these stories, in like one movie, right? It's not just based on one story, it's just a whole bunch of them. So the movie tells the story of this young boy named Aesop, which you can see on the screen right here. He's a young boy, maybe 11 or 12 or something like that, right? No age given, but young. And he's a bit of a naughty brat. He likes to cause mischief. He runs around the village. Not really doing anything except terrorizing the animals, doing different pranks and stuff. And the villagers are always complaining to his mom about him. And he pretty much like causes mischief, gets spankings every day, and then says he's learned his lesson. And the next day he just does the same things. So Aesop's mother has come to a point where she needs to do something. So as sort of like punishment, hopefully to like teach him, something, she gets some job as a sheep herder, right? So next day he's, out with the sheep and everything. He's getting bored. He decides to go ahead and listen to his echo. So he's out shouting. It's, innocent enough. He's shouting hello, listen, hello, 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 listen to echo back and everything. And then he decides to shout, a wolf is coming. Now everybody can hear his echoes can hear his echoes in the village down below. And so when they hear about the wolf, all the villagers start freaking out. All the men are grabbing the spears and stuff. The women are taking their children inside, getting them out the streets and stuff. They rush up the hill to Aesop and they're like, "Where's the wolf? Where's the wolf?" And he has no idea like this would shake them up so much. So he's like, "Oh, I was just listening to my echo." So they get a little upset, but they tell him, "Don't do that again. Okay, it's very serious, right?" His mother chastises him when he gets home for the whole ordeal, and he says, "Mom, I won't do it again." He does it again. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. It's obviously the boy cried wolf story, okay? So he does it again purposefully this time and tricks all the villagers into like a state of fear. After this, during a nice leisurely roll through the woods, Aesop comes upon what else? An actual wolf. Wolf starts chasing him down. He's running, yelling for help, yelling for help. Obviously, if you know the story, you know now at this point, all the villagers are ignoring him and everything. And even his mom is ignoring him when he's trying to get in the house. She has it locked and won't let him in. So now he's got to run out and he ends up being chased into the woods by this wolf. And now there's a whole pack of wolves after him. He is cornered when all of a sudden a hole opens up underneath his feet and he falls through, going through a portal into another world. Aesop wakes up to find himself in a strange land where he's greeted by a talking mouse. Now obviously this freaks Aesop out and he runs off and he wonders maybe he's being punished for being so cruel to animals now. So Aesop walks around and realizes that, he's far from home, has no idea where he's at, and he comes across a young flower elf named Silkwing, who can be seen in the image right here with the wings and the green hair. Um, he finds Silkwing crying under a tree and asks her what's wrong, and she explains to him that she was blown away from her home of flower garden to the north. The wind came through, blew her all the way here, and she is now lost. So Aesop agrees to help her find her home because he believes that it will help him find a way home. They come across City Mouse, who is there to visit his cousin in the country. The same mouse that Aesop was greeted to at the very beginning of when he woke up here. So the country mouse takes him to his home, gives him, nuts and berries to eat, a very simple meal. The town mouse or city mouse, whichever one you want to go with, talks about he can eat whatever he wants. He lives this luscious lifestyle. Um, so the city mouse invites all of them to his place. Well, they go there and they have a feast and everything. And it turns out that this isn't actually the city mouse's house. It belongs to a cat that's been trying to eat him this whole time, and he's just been like dodging him and doing whatever he wants, and trying not to risk getting eaten. So after they get chased around for a while, the three of them, Aesop, Silkwing, and the country mouse, who if I remember correctly, his name is Skitter in the dub. Skitter decides to join them because pretty much because he's not doing anything. He just like, hey, I'm gonna tag along. Sounds fun, right? So they're traveling around, headed south, to find Silkwing's home and all that, and find a way for Aesop to get home. Now, how the fables come into play? I would say we've seen like the boy who cried wolf in the beginning of it, and then we saw the country and the town mouse story play out. So pretty much as they're traveling along, they come across like different um, characters that are going to become the Aesop fables. Um, so we had the boy who cried wolf, the country and the city mouse or town mouse. Um, they come across a tortoise and a hare arguing about who's the fastest. And obviously, this leads into the tortoise and hare race that we all know, and it's probably one of the most famous Aesop fables. The grasshopper and ant, which is like the grasshopper is just doing nothing but playing and not, working or getting anything ready for like the winter months. And then like while the ants all working, the grasshopper makes fun of them, saying like, "Oh, why don't you just take a break?" And they're like, "Well, winter's coming, we gotta get all this stuff together." Winter comes and the grasshopper ends up being screwed because while playing, he didn't really do anything, and now he don't have enough food. So now he's got to beg the ants for food, and they end up like taking him in and forgiving him all this stuff. Um, then we have like another major character that ends up joining them is a donkey named Haw-Hee. Yeah, Haw-Hee, like hee haw, but the other way around. The donkey is just like this lazy. They at one point they get a job. This is how they meet the donkey. They get a job, right? For some reason, like I don't know, it doesn't explain why, but they're just trying to find a way to get Silkwing home and get Aesop back to his home too, right? So they decide to get a job, and the guy puts in the work, and he wants them to bring some salt to buy her. So they load the salt on Hahi, who complains about it being so heavy. And at one point, they're crossing the river, and Scared Mouse tells Hahi to watch out for this rock. Well, Hahi, being lazy, decides to purposely trip on the rock, tearing the bag of salt and having all the contents leak out. So now it's not so heavy. Obviously, this gets them in trouble, and the guy decides to give him another chance. And now he sends them off to deliver some cotton. The cotton is obviously lighter than the salt, but Hawkeye, who's kind of just lazy, plays it off as if it's heavy, right? So they go to cross the river again. They're telling Hawkeye to be careful. He purposely trips himself all this time. Doesn't even walk into the rock that tripped him last time. He just trips on his own and tears up the bag of cotton that's now pouring in water. Well, since Hawkeye didn't know it was cotton, thought maybe it was more salt or something. The cotton starts soaking in the water and gets heavy and heavier, unlike last time when the bags got lighter and lighter. So, of course, this gets them in trouble again because they ruin the cotton and all that. Um, Holly runs away because the villagers all make fun of him for kind of being foolish and, trying to get away with something again. And at this point, they kind of go back to like trying to get to find Silkwing and Aesop's home and all this stuff, right? They come across Hahi again when he finds a lion skin and wears that and goes into town, like starts like telling the villagers, like scaring them and everything. And it's not until Aesop and them come across him and they're like, "Yeah, you're a donkey." He tries to roar and he just brays instead, making donkey sounds. And like Aesop was like, "Yeah, you're just a donkey." So Hahi ends up joining them and they travel around and stuff, and they're taken in by a group of ants that have taken in the grasshopper that was you know kind of being a fool earlier in the movie. The ant tells them, the elder ant tells them about this mountain called Mount Terror, where nobody has been to the other side, and it's possible that's where Aesop's home is. Well, Aesop decides that he's gonna cross it, so the ants give them food, and a winter coat so they can brave the mountain because it's very snowy there. While as they're traveling up the mountain, the spirit of winter appears, chastising, telling them that they're not allowed to cross, and he tries to stop them either way, any way he can. And then the spirit of spring appears, and she's like, "They're just trying to get to where they need to get to. You should let them pass." Well, the two of these spirits decide to have a contest. The contest is that whoever can get the characters to take their coats off wins. So spirit if spirit of winter wins, they're not allowed to cross. If the spirit of spring wins, they're allowed to cross. So the spirit of winter, he turns this big cloud. He's like, I'm gonna blow cold air on them and just blow their coats off. So he starts blowing all this cold air, right? And the characters, they're hanging onto their coats, covering up, holding them tightly. Nothing happens. And the spirit of spring's like, okay, it's my turn. Spirit of spring turns into the sun, starts like pouring out warm sunshine rays, you know, at first they still got their coats on, and Spirit of Winter's like, it's not working. It's not working. Spirit of Spring is like, oh, hold on, give it a minute. After a while, the characters realize that like, oh, it's a bit warm. Let's take these coats off. It's kind of getting too hot. So Spirit of Spring wins the bet and everything. She appears to the characters and tells Aesop that she's been watching him since she's ever been there, and probably like in the other world, in his world too. I guess the normal world. Normal world. Sorry. So she's been watching him. She's like, you've learned your lessons. You've grown from being a naughty boy into somebody who cares about other people's feelings, even animals. So I will take you back to your world. I'll take y'all back to Aesop's world. So she transports everybody to Aesop's world. Then we go up to this beautiful garden. Silk Queen is super excited, but she doesn't have her wings anymore. They come across Aesop's mother, and he gets reunited with his mother, and it's all good and everything. And that's where the movie ends. So very fun movie. I definitely recommend you checking it out if you ever get the chance. Um, it's very simple. Like I said, it's hard to find, but if you look it up, you can find it. You can find it. Watch it online. Because there's VHS copies out there that you could probably find if you ever want to have a physical copy and you still have a VHS, a VCR. I mean, but anyways, yeah, this is one of my favorite movies as a kid. I loved watching this movie as a kid. Um, and just I watched it for the first time ever when I was getting ready to make this video, and while researching everything. Well, not even because there's barely any research you can do on it. Because not information is about it is online. We do have like the Japanese cast. Um, is well known. The English cast they only list two English voice actors for two of the characters. Um, which I will get into now because this is what led into the rabbit hole that I'm going to get into. Alright, so one of the main actors in the Aesop Fables 1983 movie dub is Lionel Wilson, who you probably recognize as the voice of Eustace Bagg from Cartoon Network's Courage the Cowardly Dog. I thought that was very interesting and pretty cool. And I also learned that, he's done a lot of other dub movies. And one of the movies he's done was this movie called The World of Hans Christian Andersen, which is almost like Aesop Fables, a little different. It came out about almost 20 years earlier in 1968. Um, and has like some talking animals and some aspects. It's basically the same thing where like the main character experiences stories that inspire the character to write the stories of Hans Christian Andersen. Just like Aesop has experiences and to write the story that are gonna become Aesop Fables, all that stuff. I did I did forget one thing. I did forget one thing to say. At the end of the movie Aesop Fables, the Spirit Spring specifically tells Aesop that she wanted him to have these experiences and learn from them, so he can write stories that will help people in his world learn these morals and lessons and all this stuff. So I forget about that. Also, another thing about the ending is that, like I mentioned, Silkwing becomes human, right? She loses her wings and becomes humans, but Skitter, the country mouse, and Hahi, they can still talk in our world. Um, in fact, when they do, Silkwing tells them, y'all need to be quiet because remember, animals don't talk here." So now they have to like now they just have to live their life uh, pretending like they can't talk, which is uh, just great for them, I guess. But moving on back to, I want to get to here we go. Get back to this. Yeah, so basically, kind of same general idea of what they did with Aesop Fables. So these movies, they're both doesn't work. I like Aesop Fables better. I did watch this while I was looking all this stuff up. It's a fun movie, but I didn't really enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Aesop Fables. So moving on. Also, I want to mention another rabbit hole I went down because this was fun. While looking up stuff for Aesop Fables, I did find they do have a IMDb page. You can see right here. Um, we have the cast, and pretty much we just have, as you can see, they just list the Japanese cast, and then two of the English dub, which Corinne Orr, and of course Lionel Wilson down here. I did take a look at the director and writer, and the director has worked on a couple of things. Norio Hikone. I'm probably butchering that. I apologize. Um, he has worked on a bunch of different Toei animated films and stuff. Has directed series. He's directed Aesop Fables, a couple TV series here. Kim of the White Lion is someone y'all probably familiar with in a lot of series. Aesop Fables being like the only movie he's done. And then the writer has a bunch of work in the Super Super Sentai. What is that? Okay, that's not what I want to click on. I want to click on Hirohisa Soda. Different bunch of works in the Sentai series and a bunch of different stuff. So like a whole bunch of different stuff. So they got some interesting stuff here. But one other web page where I found just a little bit of information is the Dubbin Wiki. Let me just get back to where I'm at. Yeah, Dubbin Wiki. Mentioned Aesop Fables is a 1983 anime film produced by Toei, the last of the world's literature movie adaptations they produced in the 70s and early 80s. Um, so this kind of like got me confused. So this world literature movie adaptations, when I was looking at Toei's films they've released over the years, if you go down, let me find it. It starts about like in the 70s. Um, so where is it? I know it's coming up. Okay, so this movie, The Wild Swans, you see they mentioned that this is the first film in the world masterpiece fairy tale series. And they released five of these from Wild Swans, Thumbelina, um, The 12 Months, Swan Lake, and Aladdin and the Magic Low, which was released in 1982. Is the fifth and final film in this world masterpiece fairy tale series. Um, this confused me right here at first because I thought maybe they was talking about this world masterpiece fairy tale series. Because after Aladdin, Aesop came out like a year later, which you can see like right here. As you can see, no wiki page for it. No wiki page for it. It's crazy. I Actually, I think there might be a wiki page for it. Three. Uh, no, no. There's a wiki page for it on like other wikias, but nothing on the main Wikipedia. So yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't seem like a lot of people talk about this movie, and it's insane to me. But yeah, this I was getting a little confused about this and this. I thought maybe Aesop Fables was a part of this, but I think what they mean by this was that like Toei films they were doing a lot of movies based on different books and like fairy tales and stuff. You know, basically they were the Walt Disney of the East, right? Um, and they did movies that Disney did later. Like they did Little Mermaid first, they did Aladdin first, and all this crazy stuff. But anyways, that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I highly recommend go and check this movie out. It's a very fun watch. It is very enjoyable. It's not super exciting or anything, but it's definitely like a fun movie. Like if you have kids, your kids will definitely enjoy it. If you like a simple fun movie, you'll definitely enjoy it. Um, I would love if it was out on DVD or any kind of streaming service, but like I said, people have uploaded their VHS copies online, so just do a search for it and you'll find it and give it a watch. It's definitely worth it. If you enjoy it so much and you want to own it, and find a way to buy it. Um, Toei, you're watching this? Just release this on DVD, okay? Okay, just release it on DVD. I am begging you. So, you guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed talking about this. I know I kind of rambled a little bit. Um, I'm not good at putting stuff together, and I make these videos without any scripts or anything. But this is one where it's like I watched the movie, I tried to get as much info as I could on it, and it led me down like all this crazy stuff. I definitely am now interested in checking out Toei's like oldest works. I want to watch their Puss in Boots film, which I just learned is where their mascot comes from. I had no idea. So now I'm planning on watching that. I plan on checking out this world's masterclass fairy tale series, movies from them, and I think this is gonna be very fun. You want to see me talk about some of these other classic anime films? Let me know. We'll do another dive into them. I think it will be fun. But yeah, just hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment down below, and I will see you all in the next video. Love you guys.